Pete Hegseth will continue meeting with Republican senators today in hopes of building support for his bid to become defense secretary. He is set to sit down today with Senator Susan Collins of Maine after meeting yesterday with Senator Lisa Murkowski of Alaska. Both are moderate Republicans whose votes could decide whether or not he is confirmed as the leader of the Department of Defense. Here's what Senator Murkowski had to say about their meeting.
So, how was it? Are you ready to support him?
Did you learn anything that swayed you at all?
I had a good exchange with Mr. Hegseth.
Are you ready to support him?
I had a good exchange, and we'll see what the process bears.
What more do you need to learn?
Well, he's got probably at least half the Senate that he's going to visit with. He's got a process that is going to involve full vetting through the administration, and then ultimately a committee.
What about the allegations?
Did he answer your questions with respect to the
That's a lot
sexual
of
assault allegations? Did he answer your questions on the sexual assault allegations?
Okay, we're rating elevators, by the way.
That one works a little better than
for the
yesterday.
quick escape. Sounds better.
A little better. Still, as John says, take the stairs.
That was better.
I don't know.
You know, they remind me, these answers on Pete Hegseth, for people that don't want to vote for him, reminds me of like a football coach. I think maybe Nick Saban may have said it once. Trust the process. I mean, it's all about, we're going to take it through the process. We're going to see what's happening. We're hearing two separate things. MAGA land is saying, oh, we're going to get all of them in. Everybody's scared to death to cross, Donald Trump and the mainly MAGA people on Twitter. But everybody's saying the same thing. Like behind the scenes, they're 6, 7 hard no's for a lot of these candidates. So they're saying trust the process. Who knows? Maybe they go through the process. He goes to a really ugly hearing and gets through. But I think right now we should just say trust the process means trust the process and let it run its course and see how the votes end up.
Yeah, the word from Palm Beach is that Hegseth has some momentum. They feel more confident about him now than they did, say, last week. But he's still not there yet. And Murkowski yesterday is the very careful wording. Trust the process. We expect that he will get a fair hearing. It's the same we heard from Joni Ernst yesterday. Yes, they're not outright saying no, but they're also not saying yes. They're not there yet. They're going to let this play out, see what other revelations may come up. There's certainly been no shortage of them at this point. Also, the people I've talked to on the Hill in the last 24 hours say that number is about the same. There's still about 6 Republicans who aren't there yet to vote yes. Also, Senator Richard Blumenthal doing a public service by providing public whip counts. He seemingly, this is the third or fourth time where he has now gone before cameras and said, nope, I've been talking to Republican colleagues. He doesn't have the votes just yet. But at least so far, the Trump team leaning in, they think they're going to keep pushing.
And by the way, we're doing this day in and day out. Let's not get numb to the reality here. The person we're looking at right now is woefully ill-equipped to be Secretary of Defense, does not have any managerial experience that would allow him to run the largest, the most complex, the most important, critically important bureaucracy in the United States of America or the world. As the Middle East dissolves and melts down, as a war in Eastern Europe threatens to move towards a nuclear confrontation or a world war. That's where we start. And then you start stacking up one allegation after another, whether the allegation is about financial mismanagement, whether the allegation is about a chronic abuse of women. That allegation, of course, underlined in a letter his own mother wrote to him. Whether you're talking about taking successful VA organizations and running them into the ground, whether you're talking about claim after claim after claim of the sort of inappropriate behavior that Joni Ernst claims to be a champion of in stopping in the United States military. And speaking of Joni Ernst and Tammy Duckworth and so many other women, Willie, that have made heroic contributions to the United States of America through armed combat, he still sounds like a hard no on women in combat. This is not the 1950s. And again, take all of that and put it to the side. The fact that any senator could stand up and confidently say, oh, yes, Pete Hegseth is exactly the sort of person that, should run the DOD, that says so much about the complete lack of just responsibility that these senators that are saying this publicly are taking in their extraordinarily important job.
Yeah, and you hear in Senator Ernst's comments the other day where she sounded a little more open to Pete Hegseth, perhaps some fear, some have suggested, because people from Donald Trump's circle are intimidating these senators and saying, if you vote against these picks, we will primary you. I would like to think that Joni Ernst or Lisa Murkowski or Susan Collins has more confidence in their relationship with voters in their home states that, okay, you want to run a primary at me, let's do it. I'm still going to vote what I think is right and not give in to those. But Donald Trump does appear to be treating these very, very important picks like ambassador choices. I like Pete Hegseth. He was nice to me on Fox. I'm going to make him the ambassador to fill in the blank. No, this is a very, very serious job, running a massive bureaucracy.
This is not sending Kimberly Guilfoyle to Greece.
Exactly. Thank you. That's exactly what I was trying
Which,
to
of
say.
course, is also pretty outrageous.
Right. There's that, too. But to your point, in many ways, the character questions with Pete Hegseth and many of these others have overshadowed the incompetence problem, which is
exactly.
Yes, there are huge questions about character. And as Senator Tammy Duckworth, who lost both of her legs in combat, said, hey, Pete Hegseth, how do you think I lost my legs? In a bar fight? No, I lost them in combat. So he's trying to parse that statement. He's saying, well, I think, of course, women should be in the military. Well, everyone agrees on that. But he won't go off as far as saying they should be in combat.
No.
And that's the problem.
Because he's against it.
For many senators.